Welcome to Self-Perfected.
Ability and giving
recording.
Well,
We can talk about recording in progress. Okay.
It always throws me off guard. Like, oh, we're recording now. I get nervous. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. You just follow the script, Cameron.
Oh yeah. Where's my notes?
You don't go off script. We got that
Cameron doesn't-
teleprompter thing. So
We still
Yeah, if
If
can't.
I was a musician, my name would be the script.
Why?
Or that one's already taken, isn't it?
That's a song I think that we listen to.
Oh, it's a
on
song.
Mondays.
Oh, that's the name of the song?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's called The Script.
I don't know.
no, that's the band. That's the band.
That's the band. The
Come
band
on,
is called The
man.
Script.
Come
Okay.
on, man.
So your name is taken, buddy. Sorry.
So we have the best intros to our podcast.
Yes.
I know.
You know, and it's like, here's how I look at it. We're not trying to fucking please anybody. You know what I mean?
Well,
We're not trying to
I'm
like,
looking to be
oh,
pleased.
and then we have the super intro. I mean, like we make our intro loud as fuck, and more people complain. We just leave it or ramp it up. You know?
That's true. That's true. Because it's that's like the most irrelevant parts, right? It's like people get all hooked into like, oh, it's got to be like flashy. It's got to be like this and that, and Right? just Like, people get perfect.
Mhm.
Oh, geez, Christine.
And I mean, and what
You
difference
should have
does
just left
any of
that on
shit
to
make?
really fuck with people.
I don't know why
The whole
my,
episode has.
I have headphones on, but for some reason my computer plays like the sound off the speakers. So
Yeah.
my
So-
apologies.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kristen. Thank you for apologizing. Because I got kind of triggered right there. So okay. There's an interesting thing that I've noticed. So I was re-listening to Jonathan Solario's playlist that's like the complete collection of Bernard audios. And the very first one is called the Nature of Destiny Interviews or something like that. It's really cool because Bernard is explaining how intentionally the whole Destiny message is designed not to inspire any confidence. It's actually designed to repel you, to repel your ego.
Yeah.
And so that way you have to actually study the thing, which is so brilliant because that's why nobody else is doing this kind of thing. You'll notice the entire world is all geared towards, make it inspiring and motivate your people and, on Motivation Monday and all this shit. But it's actually just it's like you have a house built on a fucked foundation, built on sand. And now you're like, hey, come on, y'all. We're going to make the sickest first floor and the sickest second floor. It's going to be so cool. And you put AI
It's a
in the
brilliant
house
fucking
and you could put
analogy, man.
and you'll put like Alexa and
This
Siri in
talks
the
to
home.
me.
It's going to be so amazing. And then your house is all built on not just sand, it's fucking quicksand that's going to suck you in and not
At
spit
a
you out.
moment's
You're
notice.
just going to
That's
literally be
revenge of the
fucking
ego
trapped.
right there.
Literally.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what it's like? It's like kind of like I was just thinking of this morning. In Boy Scouts, they teach you like if you ever get lost and you don't have a compass, but you have a magnet for some reason, and a needle, and a and a cork from a wine bottle. I don't know how you have all these things.
If you
You
get
don't have a
lost
fucking
at a
compass.
fucking cocktail party next to a fucking tailor,
Right.
You'll know which way is north.
exactly.
like that's gonna
exactly.
fucking help you.
Right, but
You
what
just
they
walk
say is
until
like,
it gets really cold and you see a man in a red suit, and then you turn around and go the other way
that's it. There you go.
because you went all the way you could go north.
And technically, that's not even like the most north point where the North Pole is, or where the
Where
strongest
Santa lives?
magnetic pole is. Yeah, it's not even the most north point. It's actually south of that. It'd have to be south of that, right? Because it's not the most north. Anyway.
Drake, is this one of your conspiracy things about the earth being flat?
But
No, it wasn't actually.
what does that mean then? The most north point.
Like where would be expected to be at the very center, if you're looking at a globe, the very center of the top of the globe.
Yeah, I was
That would
thinking that's
be-
arbitrary, but I guess it's based on the axis that it spins on.
Right.
That's assuming the earth is round.
Like anybody fucking has any clue at all. Like, come on, man.
Cameron,
Somebody's gonna have some sort of clue.
Cameron, I went through school. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Mitch.
I've learned there's different types of maps.
Before you go there, have
It's
you
like I
ever
look at all my
been-
teachers, how fucking dumb they were.
Have you ever been over the ice wall? Have you?
Exactly.
I've never tried Drake because it's run by the military. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You would get shot down if you tried to fly over it. That's true.
So they
that's
say.
what the one guy Joe Rogan was saying.
So they
tried to
say.
get there.
None of them have ever tried to do it.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I don't know if
They
that's
just
true.
say like, "Oh yeah,
I've
there's a
never
treaty
tried.
and you can't do it." So nobody will ever try to do it and then be like, "Wait, there it is right there."
Yeah.
It's all a double reverse psyop by the Illuminati.
Double reverse psyop. That's speaking my language. My dopamine just spiked right there. Yeah, I want it. Oh, my confidence boosted too. Perfect. Great. I don't have to take
Actually, and the
village.
thing is, the vaccine actually is good.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll get our.
The strike
Maybe we'll
just
get
got
our.
removed.
Exactly.
That's the double
Okay, all
reverse.
right. You know what? I see what you're doing here. You're doing the Jimmy Dore. You're doing the Jimmy Dore, right? I've been watching some.
No, it's
Jimmy
just
Dore
that I
videos.
believe in eugenics.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Get rid of all the dumb people.
It does work. It does work, then, I guess, from that perspective.
Would Hitler? Never mind.
Because which version of Hitler are you talking about, Cameron?
Okay. Would Hitler deny people the life-saving vaccine? Or would he force them to take it because he's a fascist dictator?
That's a great
Would he
question.
save their lives and force them to do it by therefore being like a dictator? Or, and because, he's a fascist, so he's in bed with the corporations and Pfizer and all that kind of stuff or whatever. Or would he deny it and let people die?
He would force it 100%. And we know this because of all the stories of how he was doing experiments on people.
We're not doing
No.
YouTube anymore, are we?
No,
No, I'm
We
just
can't.
asking. Like, yeah, so it's like I don't give a shit anymore.
we
Like,
can't. Honestly,
I
we
checked it.
can't do YouTube.
Yeah, I just checked
yeah, we
again
actually
if we
can't
could
upload.
post, and we can't upload.
okay, cool. So,
So
yeah,
they
so we
told us. They
literally
told
don't
us
care at all.
that
It's
first
only-
that first strike, or however many weeks ago, they told us it would be 1 week that we wouldn't be able to post, and that automatically it would be lifted. We wouldn't have to do anything.
Maybe
and
maybe
then-
what we should do is just live on Rumble and not even Facebook.
That's not a bad idea.
Mm.
Because then you don't
That's
have to worry
cool.
about the Facebook group
being taken down.
for all
We
your
haven't had
peeps
any
at.
strikes for Facebook though.
I don't even have strikes. I don't even know. I
I
think
don't
they're
know how
like
they do that.
secret
They're probably more just like shadow banning or shit.
in our own group.
Yeah.
There's
The
10
people-
There's 10 people watching,
So,
so maybe that's not true.
Who's watching?
I don't know.
has anybody commented?
Anonymous.
No,
Has anyone said
Aaliyah,
hello?
Just these-
Kelsey
I know
Scott
Owen's here.
said-
I know Owen's here. Hey, Owen, how's it going?
There's these trolls that we paid for. So
Is
we
there
can
anybody
inflate how big
interesting?
the group is.
Oh, you want to hear something interesting? Somebody was saying, one of my friends was saying, friends, and I mean on Facebook. Just
Friends.
they call them that on Facebook, right? But they were saying how they got banned from this group called Bring Evidence, right? And I was like, interesting. I want to see what this group is about, right? And so I go and I check out this group, Bring Evidence, and the first thing that I see was something like, people call us shills, people call us like a scam or whatever, and they don't even know. And then I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I wonder, just bring evidence to what you're going to say, back it up. It's like when we face them with the evidence, they go away and all right, so what kind of things does this group say? I'm really interested, right? And the entire group was just everyone should be taking the vaccine. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like the evidence shows. I'm like, oh, it really is a group of just shills. It's just a group of shills entirely through and through.
It's weird.
But they present themselves as if people call us NPCs, people call us shills.
Dude, this is
Like-
probably like a bunch of fucking people sitting in some office in Russia and in China and in Iran, and they're just like, let's just fuck with those Americans. And they're just like, okay, what would fuck with them the most? Okay, a Facebook group of shills admitting they're shills, but then denying it too.
yeah. That's pretty much what that group was. But let me finish telling you about this fucking magnet and fucking needles and shit. Okay.
In the North
I know
Pole?
you got. I know. Yeah, I know you guys know where I was going with this.
Don't
but-
black people
Mount
think
Meru.
that the US is evil?
Yes.
So why wouldn't they like support Putin? And you know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like if you know the US is evil and all this stuff, like wouldn't you assume then that it was totally lying about everything and like the enemy was actually the good guy?
Cameron, you're assuming first off that black people can do math, right? And that is a very poor
That's not
assumption.
even true. That's
You're-
not-
second
they
of
were-
all, you're assuming that they can read, and again, a very poor assusion.
They're picking the
guess-
lesser of the two evils. That's what's actually going on. They're like,
US?
oh yeah, like because they're probably thinking, well, definitely don't want to live in Russia. I can't. How can I even get my
Oh.
Jordans there? You know,
Snow,
Mm.
white
Yeah.
people.
Also, yeah, definitely, black people don't really like cold.
They don't call them
It's-
Jordans there, they call them Jordanskis.
Pretty much.
Mikhail Jordansky.
Bring evidence to that, Cameron. I don't believe you.
Bring evidence, Cam.
Bring a Russian on our podcast so we can talk to them and ask them.
Hey, you wanna know something? What I just learned the last couple days.
Hmm.
Do you know where that phrase "Don't mess with Texas" comes from?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I literally just learned this. Right,
It's from a littering campaign.
it is from a littering campaign. How'd you know?
I assumed the littering campaign was just utilizing the.
So you saw the littering campaign as it
Oh
was
yeah,
happening.
like everybody. Knows
Okay,
it,
okay,
yeah.
All right, that's
I didn't know
interesting.
that that's where it comes from.
That's where it came from. That's literally where it came from. Like it wasn't like that it was a phrase beforehand and then they just made it popular. It was like they created that phrase, "Don't mess with Texas," so that they could get truckers to stop littering in Texas. And it actually worked really effectively. Like the whole idea behind it was like, how do we appeal to people who want to litter and also want to like rebel against authority? They said, like, if we just create a big fine, they'll be worse. Like it'll just
It's
create
almost
more
like they're
littering and all that.
identifying with like this macho, like beat your ass if you mess with me sort of thing.
Exactly.
What was their fear? Were they actually afraid like Texas itself was going to punch them or something?
No,
Don't mess
no,
with
no.
Texas. Like,
Or
I'm
like
actually-
within themselves, they're like, I'm Texas. Don't fuck with me.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
for
That's
sure.
it.
that's some
It was like-
psychological operations, man.
It was
Yeah.
that it was and it was wildly successful because they got like all the like football players, they got the baseball players, like Willie
It's
Nelson.
true, dude. I don't mess with Texas.
Exactly. Right.
I'm actually pretty
So-
shocked they didn't come up with that before that. It's a pretty, catchy phrase. Don't mess with Texas. Yeah.
Don't mess.
Don't mess with Florida. I have a whole different image in my mind. Picturing like
Yeah.
a fucking group of
No, I think
alligators.
I fuck with Florida. That's the
I'll fuck with
statement.
Florida. I'll fuck with
And Florida will fuck with you.
That's right. Florida is fucking you right now.
Yeah, don't they call it the penis of America?
That's right.
That's
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 right.
catchy. Is that their official state motto?
Should be.
Yeah, the penis of
On the
America.
flag.
They should just
That's-
call it America's dick.
When you're driving into Florida, that's what it says. Welcome to America's dick. Hope you brought protection. And then it's just got guns on the sign. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Um,
That's good.
Yeah, no.
Uh.
I was bringing up that point of like the needle because what you were saying, Mitch, earlier, of just how like everyone, because of the message of like destiny interviews, it's like it's specifically repelling your ego, so that it's not just something that you get caught up in. Kind of like with a needle, right? With the needle, it's like all the what they say is how this happens is like all the metals in the needle are like they're not polarized yet, right? But then when you swipe a magnet against it or whatever, then they all line up in the same direction, in which you can use it to find north or whatever, right? And it's like that's what happens to the masses all the fucking time. The magnet is the media that just kind of swipes at people. And everyone lines themselves up with, this is the message we're going with. This is the new trend. This is the thing that we're doing, right? And what
It's a magnetic
We're-
resonance.
it is a magnetic resonance. Wow, that's it. That's a really great point, right? It's like that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here isn't about like, oh, just catching people off guard and like, oh, you all lined up, haha, gotcha. What we're doing is like you are making a specific decision
Yeah.
where you can see things for yourself and go, wait a minute. No, that doesn't make sense.
It's like it
That's
has to
not-
come from you. And if there's any points within
has
you
to.
where it's like, I'm just gonna follow it, you're just gonna end up getting triggered. That's it. So
especially
like that,
yeah.
that's why like we talked about this earlier. Like I will specifically attempt to trigger people, because the way I look at it is like if I'm wrong, then they won't get triggered or they'll just be like, whatever. I don't care about my reputation. I don't care about like, oh, Cameron tries to trigger people or something. Who cares? Like, because I know why I'm doing it. And it's like you don't just do it all the time randomly forever, around everybody. It's like you if you see certain points where somebody's like you'll see it, especially you don't really see it that much in self-perfected. And I think part of that is because when people come into the group, someone has sold them on wanting to be there, but also it's like you have to like kind of apply to the group. You have to answer, I mean, pretty simple, basic questions, but so you have to, and you can see the people who just apply and they don't answer the question. And it's like, okay, nope. Like you can't even do that. Right. And so you'll see from time to time, you see people who are they're just there to get attention. And when you don't give them that attention, it's like they want to have their opinions.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't about everyone has my opinion. It's not my opinions. It's common sense. You can work it out. The only reason you won't is because you just want to hold on to your opinion, which is just
Right.
based on some programming that you got. It's not based on reality. So triggering those people is just like either not giving the attention or pushing back on what their opinion is. And then you'll see people will start spiraling or whatever, but you have to be really careful about those kind of people in a group because they will try to, it's like, people do it in different ways. One way is people go into a group, they start giving their opinions, and then they always try to stand on their opinion. This is who I am. This is like what I believe and what I think. And they're always trying to inject that in everything. They're not willing to question that and adjust based on new information because they're not using the tools because they can't. But then you also have people who do it in a different way. That's the people who make like posts, like self-pity posts. It's a very similar point. So I don't give those people attention. It's like, oh, this bad thing happened to me. It's like someone messaged me the other day. They're like,
Same.
well, I'm not going to say who it is, obviously, but
Their house burnt down.
something happened to them or whatever. Yeah. And they were like, they asked me, can I start a GoFundMe for them? I'm like, why don't you just,
I know this person.
you have a computer or a phone, clearly.
They have
Why would you
TT.
want me to start it?
They have
Well, they're not
TT.
using it.
I know.
Like, obviously. Right?
Obviously. Yeah. And it's like life has a way, especially now, because the whole system has changed, where it will fucking smack you in the face over and over until you wake up.
And you tell people
Head
that it's like,
burning
hey,
down.
I'm trying to tell you, like, you got to wake up. You're creating consequence. I mean, look at the world itself. All of that is collectively us doing that same pattern of not fucking standing up and just like letting things continue to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
And now
It's-
can you guys notice like the ramping up around the idea of World War III with China now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've noticed like a lot of just complete instability within people, like, but being way more not just open, but it's almost like people are like, I don't know what to do. Like it's fucking coming out, and it's like it's obvious now, and they're like admitting to like, okay, something's off, something's wrong, help, please.
So
That's
let
what
me
I'm
go back
noticing.
to church. It's
lot
like
of people
it's like
are.
it's like a fucking, there's probably some term in like computing, but it's where it's like it gets too much and then it just crashes. And then you go back to your base programming.
Yeah.
But your base programming is fucked. And so your life's just gonna be fucked. But that's why we talk to people. That's why we go out there and we have our clubhouses and everything, is because we're that stable point in the community. And especially when someone is like this is really fascinating. There's someone, I made some Facebook post the other day of like, if you're tired of being sick and tired, like let's connect. And he reached out to me. He's like, dude, this is perfect timing. He had like a crazy fucking situation. He had like a DUI, like his life was going good, not actually good, but he's like, yeah, I got this great job as a car salesman and it was good. And I had my best month yet. And then I literally was drunk and fell asleep on the freeway and he crashed into an oil truck. So crazy. And no one died. But he got arrested and everything. And so he reached out to me after I made that post. I'm like, yeah, man, we should talk because there's a way bigger purpose to life. And you're either going to accept it.
Well, he's a car salesman.
Or what? Yeah.
So he was trying to crash into an oil truck so he could like actually be greasy.
I wonder where you're going with that one. That was good.
That's some serious fucking like resonance, like hardcore subconscious.
Yeah. And so I had like, it was my responsibility.
That's a slick fucking car salesman. Okay.
But I asked him, I was like, hey man, so like, what if nothing changes? Like, what if you actually don't learn the lesson and you keep doing the same fucking thing? And he just went off for like 4 minutes. I was like, no, I have to change. So
Yeah.
we'll see now. Cause now he's facing the point of decision. Cause I brought up the tools and everything to him and how he can actually have purpose by helping us share this thing. So
yeah. The
It's
challenge
fun.
is real quick. The challenge is when you're in that state of like everything's going really bad, it's like you just want the positive, you just want it to end. And so it's a lot more difficult in a certain way to change in that state. Because it's like you're trying to get so it's cool because you're telling him the truth. Do you know what I mean? Because then as he starts to stabilize himself, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm saying this because if you're out there, don't wait till it gets to that point. It is difficult to change in that state because you really have to breathe and be stable and apply yourself versus if you're sitting there and everything's going fine right now, really apply yourself now. Because this is the moment where it's like not crazy and you're just trying to grab energy or something. Like apply yourself. Don't wait for those moments.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But when they happen, take advantage of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the swinging. It's like you have like the swinging of the pendulum. It's like you're in the deep negative. So then you're like, oh, now I found a solution. And then you just like swing yourself back into the positive. But then it's like, oh, when things go great, it's like, then you kind of forget like, oh, I did all this like stuff to get me over here. I just need to keep going. And then it's like that phrase of like, you forget what brought you to the party. And then you're just like, oh, I'm just going to go back. And you just go back into your base programming, like you said, Mitch. And so
Yeah.
that's what people just like get tripped up on because you see it all the time, especially like walking the process and the tools and people in the group. And then again, it's like you wait for, oh, I'm back in the negative.
Yeah.
Fuck. I just, now I got to go back and use the tools again. It's just like, no, like
That's
this
why you have
is
to apply yourself every day consistently. That's why we make the
Yeah,
podcast.
no
It's a way
choice.
of like staying plugged in and like, you can have some entertainment. I feel like we're pretty entertaining. It's like the hangouts, the clubhouses, you have your TT.
Yeah. Like one of the best decisions I ever made was right after I got Techno Tutor. I remember we were walking around Denver, Colorado. I'm like, great. Okay. I just got this thing. And one of you said, just make the commitment to do it every single day. Like, don't give yourself an option. Just like you eat food every fucking day, you go to sleep every day, you drink water every day, use your Techno Tutor every day. And for whatever reason, I was like, okay, sure. That makes sense. You guys clearly have what I want. I will listen to you. And
Versus like
the
positivity law of attraction approach, which is like, what are you doing consistently every day? That's not just trying to feel good.
meditating.
You know what I mean? There's no like specific application where you're changing something within yourself specifically every day.
Yeah.
That's why we call it a process. It's not a journey because a journey is just like, oh, what's going on? Okay. It's like, it's a specific process. Just like if you want to make bread, you're not like, oh, put some of that in
get
there.
a journey into my
Here,
kitchen.
throw that in there. Like you're not going to get the result you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a system that's more like it's like you actually have like specific steps that you do versus like you said the journey is just like, oh look at this random tree over here, look at this bug, you know what I mean? It's like you're just being drawn into like different things. But this is what's cool about this process because we actually have a systematic approach. But whether it be like how to teach kids how to read, and be really effective at communicating or like getting into a better relationship, it's like all the exact same point, which makes it cool to sell to people because it's like just do these fucking steps and you're like,
it's gonna work. That's the best, not the best, but it's one of the best parts. It's like I can talk to anyone from any walk of life And as long as there's that spark of life left within them, where they're like, okay, I will do the thing. I know it's going to fucking work for them. It might
Yeah.
take them 4 months till it really clicks. And they're like, oh shit, I see the value of this. But I
Yeah.
know at some point, as long as they use the thing where nothing else does that, these other fucking courses and bullshit.
That's my son
Facts.
Max. I mean, you guys know that obviously. He can't really see the book, but he's reading Mossflower. It's like a 300. You can I know you can't see it.
I was
in there.
gonna
It's like
say that
a
looks
big ass book.
that looks
Yeah.
That's what
nice.
he's reading at dinner time.
That's
You know,
fucking amazing. Oh my goodness. That's
and
so
like
cool.
I got some exercise books from like something called Singapore Math, and which I kind of like Singapore Math in terms of their approach of how they systematically go through like in a curriculum type of way. There's some cool points about it, and because they kind of take the approach of looking at every aspect of a concept and not just like in the American system how we just like you just memorize one way of doing something, you don't really understand it from every angle. But I just got them the exercise books so they could just have something to play with, and it was so interesting because when we ordered them, they come in the mail. You've never seen kids get that excited about some math books that came in the mail. Like to them, it's like
That's so
I
cool.
bought them a toy.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and they're like looking at them and organizing them and talking about them, and like, and then I come back in a few minutes and they're just both sitting there like going through them.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes at night, like I'll get one and Max will be reading like one of his novels, and I'm sitting there with Seneca and we're like going through it, and it's so cool to see how they're already way ahead. I mean, obviously I know this, but it's like they can already do the stuff in the books.
Yeah.
So
That's so
just
fucking
for anyone to
awesome.
understand, I'm not getting the books to teach them math. I like to get stuff like that to show and demonstrate. And it's more like it's like a way of playing with it. It's like when Max was 18 months, I think we did a video of him like recognizing the letters, but we just did it with these little letter blocks that we had bought. Like you know, those little same ones in that video that you did, Drake, when you were here. That
Oh,
one
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And we did, and obviously some people thought that we were teaching them with those. I mean, whatever, they're gonna think that, but they didn't learn with those blocks. We got them for them to play with because they already know it.
Yeah.
So the same
Mhm.
thing with the math books. Like it's more because like the kids really like logic puzzle books, things like that. Whether it's like word logic puzzles or like, you know, numbers or Sudoku type things or whatever. Like we like to do those late at night, like when we were going to bed. And so I bought the math books from that perspective, and it was amazing because like we were going through like the 5th grade one, and Max was just like, yeah, oh that it's just like so fucking easy for him.
So, okay, imagine
cool.
this. Imagine this. Because I've talked to some idiots before. But some people think like, oh, in order to get a kid to do that, you've got to abuse them. You got to do like, you know, because that's all their understanding is. You know, I can understand that.
Well, that's the unschooling.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know, and it's interesting because I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to add this point. Like they're treating like, you know, the unschooling thing is all about like, it's all about play. You learn to play. It's like, because they have the letters and the numbers and the words integrated physically through Technotutor, they respond to that as if it's a part of them. So they want to play with it. It's like when they get a
That's
math book,
exactly
they're
what I
like,
was
oh,
gonna
cool.
say.
It's like a toy. Oh, fun. This is fun. I'm sitting there. I'm interested in it.
That's exactly what I
So
was gonna
reading
say.
is the same way. It's like when it's in there, it's people can't understand that. When I say in there, I get that. I know it's a little bit mysterious. Just ask somebody to show you Technotutor, you'll understand better. But taking that for granted, it's like you see the kid who's just unschooled, and it's like, oh, if they have a natural inclination for reading, it's like, but then you're leaving it up to chance. You can actually make something natural to you. Natural doesn't mean it happens by accident. Natural just means you don't have to think about it.
Right.
Mhm.
And if we just left things to be, and this is the real fucking insidious thing about the unschooling is, it actually justifies poverty.
Okay, wait. Before we go too far into it, because I like all the points that you're making, right? And we're gonna get back to that. It justifies poverty point. But like that natural point, right? It's like they said Michael Jordan was a natural at basketball. It's like he fucking practiced his ass off as a child, shooting and making sure that he would make at least 100 shots before, you know, ending the night. He had to make them, not take 100 shots, make 100 shots, right? It's like he practiced that day in, day out, every single day. He was cut from his initial basketball team, and he made the decision, I'm going to fucking practice until this becomes natural to me. And so like you're saying, natural doesn't necessarily mean, oh, it just happened by accident. Natural is like it happens for you where you don't have to think about it. That's a really great point. And the other point of like the kids are playing with letters and numbers. They're playing with these, like people can't, especially the unschooling like kind of idea or philosophy. And I think they're looking at it from a very limited view, obviously. But they can't fathom the idea that you can play with numbers, you can play with reading, you can play with logic puzzles.
It's like, I think they can fathom it, but it's only if the child has a natural inclination towards it. And that's
only if it happens
that's
accidentally.
But that's the thing. That's where the mistake is. It's and in their defense, if TechnoTutor didn't exist, if it was not part of the equation, I would agree. Because there was no way I was going to use my will as a parent, take TechnoTutor out of the equation, to get my kids to be the readers and the interested in math and where they're at now. It is not because of me as a parent. Me as a parent supports them to use their TechnoTutor. Yeah. So there is that element of me as a parent that's required in my will and all that kind of stuff. But that's it. Like the TechnoTutor, it's like if you got a computer and you're like, well, whatever it just naturally can do, does the programs that it's going to do. And, and it's like, no, you can actually program it to do more.
Yeah.
Like, you could program it. And that's the thing people don't, there's yeah, it's really interesting because the problem is you only realize too late when you get into spirituality, law of attraction, success, business mindset, all that stuff later, because you're like realizing, oh, fuck, I don't know how to, I'm struggling for survival all the time. How do I change that? So you're trying to figure out how to game the system somehow. And then you realize, oh, it's programming. It's all programming. Now I've got to heal all my childhood traumas and I've got to do this. It's like, you can actually program your children in the best way. And I know it's a dirty word. It sounds like brainwash and all this stuff, but if you're a Christian and you tell your kids there's a God and Jesus is our savior, guess what? You programmed them.
Yeah.
If you're a Muslim and you tell your kids Allah, blah, 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 whatever they tell you, you program.
I thought that was an actual phrase. That wasn't the phrase.
Allah, blah, 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 Allah.
Allah, blah, blah, blah.
Prayers. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you tell your child that, you're programming them. If you tell your child at a young age, like, oh, money, it's like a bad thing. Like you should, if you want money, you're greedy. Like, you're programming them. So but then no one knows how to direct that effectively. Like if your child can read, they're programmed. Reading is not natural.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So to act like, well, my child will just read when they naturally want to. That's like
that
saying my child will just naturally start programming computers. Like, not if they don't learn the programming language.
Right.
That's like my computer's just going to naturally start running Zoom. If you didn't download it and install it into the computer, it's not going to do that.
Right.
And it's like, okay, think about the kid that's unschooled. And now their parents just go, okay, well, whatever you feel like doing today, and I'll get you some art books and this and whatever. And then it just goes with that child's natural inclination. And then where does that lead a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Whereas now you take Max, Seneca, right? Our son, Drake, Christine, your daughter, like all of these kids that are now able to program themselves now already. Like Seneca's doing her own TechnoTutor. And then whatever it is that the kids want to learn, combined with your ability to direct what makes sense and just going through TechnoTutor has everything in it already. It's like, now where do those kids end up? Like, it is a world of fucking difference in the fact that anyone would argue for, oh, well, no, this should just unschool and whatever. It's like that person is just a fucking abuser.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to share the point. And this is why we're all like, there was, I don't know if you said it while we were recording, it was before Drake, but that point about someone being like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, that kind of a thing. It's like, share TechnoTutor. Share the process, because the process supports people to deal with all of their unconscious, subconscious shit before they have kids. And obviously TechnoTutor is a part of that, but I mean the whole thing. And then share with them why they should use TechnoTutor with their kids. Like that should be your purpose in life. What else is there to do? what else is there? Just try to make money, like just trying to like how to use ChatGPT to make money or something. Or I go get a job or something. It's like, dude, you have no fucking idea. So why not do the one thing that actually makes sense and support children to become highly, extremely effective in this world?
Yeah.
I mean,
People would, yeah, they'll or they'll be like, hey, I'm already really good at sales. And then they work their way up in a sales organization. Now they're making 20K a month selling fucking solar, Airbnb,
even if you're
whatever
making
the fuck.
20K a month, that's fucking nothing.
I know.
You're never gonna make a difference making 20K a month.
Yeah. It's
it's
just
all
the
ego
fucking
shit.
survival point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the survival point and wanted to be good. Meanwhile, you see the whole world going to shit. They're pushing World War III with China. The next round of the pandemics will come out. It's like, it's just the ego. But like you said, Cameron, like it's on us, you know, because it's so easy to then go into blame.
So when we're talking,
people
we're
are so
not saying this to the public. We're saying to people listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the
Yeah,
people
it's-
listening.
And then get
are
even
in our
better at
group.
sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a big point to really like take on, because I remember Cameron, I don't know if you were just saying that this to Drake or just in general, but like if you don't do this, like what we're doing with this process and like sharing TechnoTutor, sharing, you know, Destiny, self-forgiveness, all that, like literally nothing else fucking matters.
Right.
Because we're just on the cycle of basically perpetuating the abuse of the system, which eventually just implodes on itself. And we're, you know what I mean? Like no one wins, everyone's fucked. You know, we're back, whatever that outcome is, it's like not a good one. So it's like, why not just do all that you can to like make sure that we have an actual equal starting point for everybody, where just the basic things are taken care of. And then it's like, okay, do whatever the fuck you want. But until this point is taken care of, everyone is just going to be fighting for this survival point. And it's like, you see all these people making tons of money and it's like, okay, but for what? Even people that don't have kids that are making a ton of money, it's like, for what? Like, what is the purpose? So you can have this like amazing life and then you just die and then that's it. Like to me, now it's like so obvious, because obviously like I had that mindset before, like I just need to, you know, worry about me. But now I'm like, okay, well, no, like, it, you know, it had in the back of my mind also, but why would I want to bring a child into this world if the world is so fucked? You know, and now with all the things that I know now, it's like, okay, well, we can actually do something about it. But if no one does anything about it, then we're screwed, essentially, right?
It's pretty insidious, like both of those thoughts combined and everything that comes with it. It's like, it's really getting you to focus on just you. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm here to make a bunch of money and, you know, have a really great experience. And then, of course, why would I want to bring a child into this world? It's such a terrible world. It's like, okay, so which one is it? Is it a terrible world, or is it that you're here for your experience? And really, it's you're here for your experience, and you're going to use everything that you can to justify your experience. You know. And that's literally what everybody's been sucked into. And I feel like a lot of people are becoming aware of, you know, where it's just like, oh, okay, a lot of the things in my life are lies, but they still don't necessarily know like what to do about it. They're just aware of that, you know, aware of that.
Even the point about this idea, you guys keep saying it like, oh, just go make a ton of money. Do people not realize, like, even if you're doing something right now, that's some kind of job where you're making a ton of money, whatever the fuck that means, you're going to be replaced by AI.
Yeah.
Period. There's not going to be anything left to sell except what we do. And like, because you might think, some people might say, well, it's just hard to really get through to, I mean, first of all, it's not. Like Mitch just explained an example where this guy was having an issue and he's like, well, here's how it works and here's what you need. And it's like, I was like, okay, this makes sense. It's called just becoming good at communicating. That's it.
Yeah.
That aside, it's like, oh, it's just hard to get people to see like this other way of educating your children and so forth. It's not hard, but let's just play along for a moment. That's a good thing. That means you can't be replaced.
Right.
Because what I'm explaining, I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying it does require development. It does require using the tools. to develop the communication ability and the understanding and studying and doing the process. So when you speak to somebody, you're speaking as a fucking example at some level.
Yeah.
If you're just faking it, that's not going to work either. You actually have to do it. And that's what's so cool about what we do is everybody does it. Some don't, but they don't get anywhere.
Right.
The ones who
Like
get
it's
somewhere,
obvious.
they're just doing it.
Yeah.
So don't listen to the people who aren't going anywhere because they're just not doing it. That's on them. And think about it. The fact that it is challenging. It takes a process. It's something that you as a human being have to do, and you have to connect with other human beings. You can't be replaced. And even by design, we're not interested in that. That's missing the point. That would miss the point of the bigger picture if we were to do that.
Yeah.
So that's never going to happen. But it's like people, it's like the person when you go to the grocery store who's like running the self-checkouts. And you're like, don't you realize like you're helping this company put you out of a job? I mean, they're not, because they're thinking very short term, and they'll just try to
They're
find that
thinking of
job.
their
They don't even
paycheck.
know like what's going on.
Right.
But it's like, especially with I mean, how much more do people need to see with the Chat GPT and the Bing and the Zing and the whatever the thing, it's like, how much do you need to fucking see that you're gonna be fucking replaced? And like you said about the ads and all that stuff, the ad revenue and all that, I had only just heard about this because obviously we don't participate in that world.
Right.
But there's people talking about it. It's like, wow, that's really shifted the algorithms, that you see the upgrade in the system where suddenly it's like, all right, we don't need you anymore. And then suddenly the content creators are just like, oh, fuck, what do we do now?
Right. Right.
Because
So
they don't
I
need
think,
the content creators to sell the products.
I think
The
we were
AI is
talking
like,
about this.
I'm just going to fucking, I know exactly what to tell you and when to tell you and everything. So you'll buy the shit. People are going to pay for that, not your fucking video where you talk for 3 hours and you mention their product.
Right.
And think about
I
all
think,
the kids that want to be YouTube content creators. Like
Oh,
literally,
And that was the thing. Somebody trying to argue with me, like, well, that's what they'll be when kids will be content creators. I'm like, nope.
no, they don't. Just like every kid was going to be the astronaut, right? Like,
It's like, it's like everyone can be president. Like, do you know how many presidents there are every 4 years?
or everyone's going to be
Everybody do it.
Yeah, or everybody's going to be an NBA player, or all the bullshit, right? It's like all those dreams are such fucking bullshit. And it's fucked.
Well, it's
to
like all the
have
young guys
everybody-
going, I'm going to be a fucking billionaire or a millionaire and all this stuff. It's like, do you know how many there are allowed in the system at any given time?
Yeah. It's pretty fucked, because from the perspective of like that parent, it's like, oh, you're just crushing my kids' dreams. You're telling them they can't do it or whatever, right? But the reality is like, okay, well, not everyone can do it, first of all. So not everyone's going to win. Second of all, it's like, why are you focused on that? That's bullshit. Don't focus on that. Like, why don't we focus on a system that actually ensures that everyone can actually have a dream, because they have everything met for them as far as their education, their fucking drinking water, their food, all the stuff that they need in order to live a good life. And then if they want to, like Christine was saying, if they want to like play basketball, they can play basketball. They don't need to be in the NBA to fucking play basketball.
We just play basketball when we hang out.
Right.
Like, what is it? What's that Heraclitus quote?
I was
One
actually
about
just thinking about
sleepers.
that. I'll find it.
But
Because that one is like, because when you said that point about dreaming, Drake, it's
Yeah.
like, if you have dreams, you're asleep.
right. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. You got it.
The waking have one world in common. Sleepers have each a private world of his own.
So like, you're like, well, I have my dreams. It's like, that's because you're fucking asleep. You're not here in physical reality, because
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
here in
you're
physical
literally
reality,
dreaming.
it's like imagine your house is on fire. Some people don't have to. Imagine your house is on fire and you're like 10 people in the house, and you're like, guys, let's fucking put out this fire. And they're all like, oh, I'm dreaming. I have a dream right now. And I need to like collect Pokemon cards. And this other person's like, I need to like balance these little balls on a cup and like do that stuff. And
I
this
need to
other
go
person's
sell
like,
solar
yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm selling some solar right now. It's like, and I'm doing
on
crypto.
a
And
house
you're
that's
like, guys,
literally
this
fucking
house is
burning
on
down.
fucking on fire. And you guys all have your own dreams. Like, hey, how dare you challenge my dreams? I have dreams.
Yeah, my
I'm like,
dream, my dream
the
feels
fuck are
really
you doing?
good, Cameron. Yeah, and they justify it based on their fucking retarded feelings.
And they're like, when someone's on fire, everyone will come around to watch them burn. I'm like, you're literally on fire. I'm trying to help you. I'll be right back.
All right. I think we were talking about that point beforehand of just like the Cameron's gonna go on fire. It's gonna go set himself on fire.
He's gonna demonstrate with this
Like that one
flamethrower.
monk who did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think it was multiple monks. It wasn't just one. It was multiple monks.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're about to do that
Um,
live on camera.
we're not.
Maybe. Maybe.
But
Do not try this at home.
yeah, it was making me think
Disclaimer.
of so we were talking about this before we started recording, which was just this point of the ad revenue going and like basically drying up. It's like all these people built all these different, YouTube channels or whatever, and now they're seeing like, hey, I'm not getting half the revenue that I was getting just a few months ago because they changed the algorithm. They've got AI, all this stuff, right? And it's the same. It's literally the same thing that the big banks did to crash the stock market, to crash all the smaller banks. It was literally the same thing. They just told everybody, hey, these banks are going under. You need to take your money out of the banks. And that's what caused the banks to go under. So all the little banks went under, and then the big banks just bought out the little banks. And it's the same thing that's happening right now. And as well, it's the same thing that Amazon did to literally everyone that they invited onto their platform, where they were just like, oh, you sell whatever you want to sell. It's great. We're going to help you out. We have an amazing platform for you to sell your things. And then as soon as they saw like, oh, okay, this is how you make your money. Perfect. Great. Then they went to those same companies and they were like, we'll give you 50% of
Dude,
what you were making.
we just had this happen because we order our groceries off Amazon Prime.
Uh-huh.
And we were looking at like coffee because we want to make sure we have good coffee in the house. And Jess, it was like noticeable. She's like, oh my goodness. She's like, do you see this? She's like, it was like you could get basically twice as much coffee. It's like organic, top of the line. It's like twice as much for like $3 or $4 less than the other leading brands of coffee. I was like, oh, all right. That it's like classic fucking Amazon, because we see it, because I mean they've done this for the past 20 years or whatever. But yeah, they just come in and then they win in the price war, they bleed them out, and then they just take it and then they jack the price up.
Yeah. And it's like they have a monopoly on it is literally a monopoly on so many different products. And like it's and so that's kind of the nature.
Said from the beginning that's what he wanted to do.
I know.
He said it's the everything store. We're gonna sell everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And all these people were like, "Oh, cool. Okay, let's jump in that." He never said it's just gonna be a marketplace. He said we're gonna sell everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he's gonna do it all with fucking robots. And like,
then imagine complaining.
him and the board. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching, kind of switching gears here, watching that video that you'd sent about the deep fake of Biden. Right. And I thought it was super interesting because I've been asking this question lately because Avery asked us the question, right? Of like, what would it be worth, or how much would it be worth to be 100% certain in your life, right? And it's crazy because with the deep fakes, they're showing, okay, we're getting better and better at these deep fakes where they can literally just change. And the point that they were making basically in this video was that they can change just a couple of words around, where it's not obvious at all that the context of what was said was completely changed. And they put that out as if it's like the original video, or this is what was said.
Confusion. You don't know which one is real and which one isn't. It doesn't really matter. So you can never, it's like you can't be held liable in a certain sense for lying, because there's so much confusion of how do you know which one's true? And and then think about it, which one's the algorithm going to promote?
The one that's more like, inflammatory.
Right. The one that fits the agenda of the people who program the algorithm and so forth. And so it's just like, you could say like, like, what was the example? It was the point about Trump talking about the fine people hoax, right? Where he was like, there's a lot Nazis and they should totally be condemned or whatever. But he was saying you could put out another video where it's exactly the same, but he says, and some of them should be condemned.
Right.
So be like, he said only some of them, like, so some of them shouldn't be. And it's like, which one is real? And they can say, well, this is the real video, but if you can make it indistinguishable, it's like, well, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because it had the emotional impact that it needed because the algorithm knew how to put it in front of people's faces.
Right.
And then how do you know which one was the real one?
I just, in case people haven't heard this concept before, we talked about it in many other episodes, but it's like, it doesn't matter if that the front page like message gets it doesn't
Retracted.
matter if it's true or not, because it's the impact happens, and in that moment you make decisions like, oh, Trump's a fucking racist, or oh, this happened, and then later they'll come out and they'll say, oh no, it was actually this. It doesn't matter though, because they know how to imprint and get it emotional.
Well, then
So
they do the
it's
next
such a
thing.
simple
They figure it
concept,
to
but like,
focus away from it. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of people overlook that, and like that's the beast of the media right there.
Yeah. And I was thinking of it from the perspective of like, but okay, but wouldn't you be afraid that you'd get caught like publishing this bullshit? Like, then I just looked at the last election cycle and I was like, no, not at all. Because they were publishing fake shit all the fucking time and keeping real shit out of the news cycle and saying that it was fake. And then like afterwards, everything comes to the surface. And it's like,
This next
too late
next
then.
election it's going to all go to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, and so the real point behind it, when I look at it, is we need a population who does not go with their emotional state.
Mm.
They can't be manipulated emotionally. That is the key. And if you don't do the process of reprogramming yourself, you don't have a choice. Like, you'll get triggered, and that's the revenge of the ego. And then you'll move towards a certain point because of the positive, negative points. Unless you've gone through and you've supported yourself, and it's a process. Unless you've been doing that, you're gonna get fucking moved. That's the problem in this world. And how are you going to support children to understand their emotions and to support them to direct those? It's not just about the thing is, even the people, the parents and so forth, who talk about, like, they sort of understand that, you know, helping your children understand emotions is important. They always tend to focus on the positive stuff, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's about having empathy and compassion and all this stuff. And it's like, no, it's about really understanding what an emotion is and how to not be manipulated or manipulate yourself or others with that. That's really what it's about. It's not about having compassion or having empathy.
And this is a really good distinction from like, some people think like, oh, so well, if we're not able to tell which one's real or which one's fake, what we need is like somebody who to tell us like, this is the verifiable truth. You know, it's like, how is that
Right.
gonna
It's
help?
like you're begging for like the Ministry of Truth or some shit to like be
Right.
like the actual, and you're going to make it so that you're not allowed to speak because it's too difficult for you to speak in a way where it's verifiable.
Right. And the other thing is like, you're not taking any fucking responsibility for like, if you're not emotionally manipulated, right? Then, okay, cool. Then you can actually look at, because if you look at all those fucking things, they have no substance under the surface. Under the surface, it's like, okay, whatever. Like, who cares about that shit? I don't care.
Yeah. Why
if
are we
Trump
even
said
getting
this
moved by
or
what Trump
that.
said or what?
Exactly. Like,
why is that
okay,
even
whatever. Who
matter?
gives a shit?
How does that
What's the
affect your
fucking
physical
thing that
life
gets
right
done?
now? Yeah.
Exactly. So it's funny because, I mean, if you look at, I was watching this video where it was some guy, I don't know who this guy is, but I saw this video and I thought it was interesting. And he was talking about like the Anunnaki and Leo Enki and like how it related to the Bible. And he was showing like, look, these stories in the Bible were actually taken from this other story that predated the Bible or whatever. And he's like, if, you know, this is the case, well, then the God of the Bible, as it's being described, is really evil. Like, you don't even know what you're following if you haven't read these things, right? And it was really interesting because it caused me to look at the word in the Bible, slavery and slave, right? Because there was a lot of what was being talked about was how, and you know, this guy doesn't have all the facts and everything, but it was a really interesting take on, hey, look, here's what these documents say, or these I don't know, ancient scrolls, whatever. This is what this says about humanity. And the kind of point that he was making with it was that human beings were designed, and we were designed to follow a certain program, right? That's basically the point that he was making with that. And he was like, basically, we were designed to be slaves to these gods, right? And
Even if you don't
all
know
these
about
stories,
even if you don't know about Anunnaki shit, you're just a run of the mill Christian. You're literally like, God is my master. I am here to serve him. He is my Lord.
Right.
So you're still participating in that pattern, even if you don't know about that shit. You're actively saying that.
right?
That's fucked
And so-
up. Like, how do people not see that's not fucked?
So exactly. So what people don't realize is that they're just being a slave, and but they're doing it in a way where they're like, but I'm not a slave. I'm just, that's just my master. And it's like,
I'm not a slave. I'm a slave.
I'm a slave.
No,
I'm not
I'm
a
not a
slave.
slave. I'm a slave. Like, I'm a slave to the Lord, but I'm not a slave, but I'm a slave to God.
Okay, but that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point of just like, I looked up the word slave and in the Bible, and it's like, okay, how many times does the word slave come up in the Bible? And I was getting like, mixed this, that, whatever. Servant comes up, this comes up, whatever. And I found something that said, if you actually go back to like the Greek version, like, that predated all the English versions, the word that was used over 1,000 times was this word like doulos or doulos, right? Which specifically means slave. It does not mean servant. It only means slave. That's the only context that it's ever used in Greece or Greek or whatever. And they were saying when they translated this Bible into English, everyone at that time understood that that word just meant slave, but they translated it into servant or bondservant or maid or all these other words because they were like, the word slave is just too triggering for an English speaker, and they won't like
Or not just
accept it.
triggering, they'll realize what the fucking actual point is.
Right.
So imagine you have like the Pope and all these guys, and they literally know you're just slaves by following this religion. And it's like they're pretending to be like in the religion, but they're not in the religion.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like they show up and they play the part, and then they go back and they're like, you're just slaves. Like the Pope is really just like, the fucking real estate mogul, if you think about it.
He
I mean,
is.
he's like the president of like this real estate company. It's like all
He-
it really is.
He really
They're like,
is.
hey, this guy's really good at acting the part. He's went up the ranks and everything. We're gonna put him out there as like the guy who will spiritually keep everyone connected and shit. It's like the Queen, same shit, man.
Yeah. But here's the point that I wanted to make. It's like, if you look at all those stories in the Bible where they're talking about like, here's how you would basically here are the kind of rules of engagement of you have slaves, right? If you look at all those stories, it's basically like, here's how you run a company. Here's how you run a business, right? And if we weren't so reactive to that word slave, then we could just take that understanding of the kind of devotion that you need to have. If you're a slave, it's like the kind of devotion that you need to have is really just like, it's not really a choice that you have.
Right. That's why Bernard said like humans were designed. They're more what's the word? It's like we have a higher capability. So we have more of a responsibility to be the slave to, for example, like the animals and the earth and the plants.
Right.
Instead of reacting to the word, and that's how I see myself, like with our animals, for example. I am their slave.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they provide meat, eggs, whatever, milk, but like I go out there and I look and I'm like, okay, what can I improve about their environment? Like, let me make sure they get in at night. Let me make sure they have water and food and so forth. It's just like when a woman has a baby.
I was just thinking
Yes,
the same thing.
you are a slave to that baby. Yes, you are a slave to the kitchen, the household, the whatever. It's like, I don't want to be no slave. I'm gonna go be a slave. You're like,
Yeah. I'm
you're gonna go be a
go
slave.
get a job.
I'm not gonna be a slave. I'm gonna go be a slave. And it's like,
Right.
you're just gonna go be a slave for something that provides no value
Right.
to the world. It's like you're gonna go be a slave in a scam rather than just be a slave to something that actually makes sense to do.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna be a slave to my baby. I'm gonna go work at a daycare and be a slave to taking care of other people's babies. It's like, the fuck? Like, you're still
Right.
just being a slave, because when you go work somewhere, don't you have to follow rules and do exactly what they tell you? And you don't get to just like, I'm just creative. And like that's been a big myth, is like, you have these cool companies where it's like you see those things on TikTok where it's like, a day in the life of a whatever thing. you know?
POV.
Yeah, you know those ones where they're like,
I'm a
"I went and
creative
got a coffee,
director.
and then we went for drinks, and we had a great lunch, Italian lunch. Then we had a meeting, and then we went back out for more drinks, and then we went to this cool like art parade, and then we went to have another meeting, and then we went
Yeah.
out for drinks, or whatever." It's like so fucking just like, oh, this awesome, cool life. All those people are getting fired now. Do you know what I mean? Like they're all like, all the companies are like, all right, cool, had your fun, we did all that stuff, but now let's get back to business.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the free money's gone, all the PPP loans and the this and the that and all that bullshit. Now they're like, we need to restrict everything. Okay, all you idiots are out.
Yeah.
Same thing with all the ad money, all that stuff,
It's funny because I think it was Tim Pool who was saying like all those kids who are like, why do I have to work? He's like, those are going to be the first ones to line up for, being inserted into the pod of, just, okay, now you live in a video game and, you're hooked up to this feed tube or whatever. And it's interesting because it's like, we're talking about, hey, let's create a world where you don't have to earn money necessarily, like or earn just your living, just your survival.
You don't have to
You don't
fear for your survival.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean you won't contribute labor,
Right.
but it's not like but you won't even necessarily have to.
Right.
But then you just won't have more than having the basics, the everything you need, the best of everything you need, which sounds terrible, doesn't it? But we could create that system. Like we could. Like if you think about it, we already kind of do it. Like that's what like congressmen and senators and all those people. It's like we just give them tons of money. I mean, if you think about it, what's the average person make versus what a congressman makes? Like they probably make like 100K at least, right? Or 200K.
They make like 100K, sometimes 200K.
Something between there, right? And just so that they'll run the government for us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like they don't really have hard jobs. They just go around talking and stuff. But my point being is we created a system where it makes sure that they don't have to worry about money. And the whole idea is that, well, if they get paid really well, they won't be corrupt. I mean, that's bullshit, but you know what I mean? But I'm saying we already have the capability of creating systems that provide for something that we see as valuable. We could do that. And we don't need to worry about, well, this person's going to be lazy. It's like, how much human creativity is being utilized right now anyways, even in the current system? And we're worried about if people are going to be lazy. That's like saying, how are people going to be socialized if they don't go to school? It's retarded.
Yeah.
It's like, how are people going to be lazy? And you literally just fucking go to work, you do the bare minimum of what you're told, you go home and you watch Netflix for 5 hours.
Right.
And the rest of the time you're on Instagram and you want to act like people are going to be lazy. It's like, what have you fucking created? Do you know what I mean? Next time somebody says that point about being lazy, be like, what have you created? Well, I go to my job. Right. What have you created? Because compared to the fucking person who created the business you work at, you're lazy.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just said what you're saying. You wouldn't have a job. If they were like, I'm just going to go work a job, you wouldn't have a job. How many businesses would exist if all the business creators were like, I'm just going to work a job? Yeah. So the employees are lazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Lazy means not activating your full potential as a creator, giving as you want to receive. It's just total self-interest. Like, I just need to survive. So give me something to do. Okay, cool.
Laziness is abdicating self-responsibility. Right?
Yeah.
And it's, but also to this point, it's like, okay, but if everyone were to work together, like, okay, you don't have to create something new or anything. You don't have to create anything really, except for yourself. You like, and what I mean by that is right now you've created yourself as your ego, which is just like, doing whatever the bidding of the system. That's it. And so you're going to have to develop yourself so that you can, okay, if you can hear what we're saying, see what we're saying, it makes sense. Okay, you're going to have to develop yourself to be disciplined enough to do what's necessary so that we're all working together to create this world that's best. Right?
A really, really cool analogy was the other day we were talking about like the idea of a tugboat. So it's like you have these really big ships that are going, and like they're stuck in a canal, let's say, or they're stuck in some port. And then that ship cannot move itself around. That ship is the old system, the education system, the economy, all of this stuff. That's like literally what we're experiencing right now. It's like the education system is fucked and it will never change in its current form. The real education system is Technotutor. But what we are and how you can look at this, for especially for the people listening, is you're a tugboat. And it's like you're finding the different part where you can plug into the system as it already is, but your starting point is different. And then you pull your part. And it's like, yeah, when you only got 3 tugboats working on it, it's like, it's fucking intense. But then as you got more and more, and then you build a team, and it's like, I got to hang out with Pedro yesterday and just seeing how much he's grown, and like he's taken on the responsibility of running our office and our clubhouses and all this cool stuff. It's like, fuck yeah, it's another tugboat. And so it makes it easier in a certain way, because now you have more horsepower, but now it allows me to be freed up to do even more and recruit more tugboats to the thing. And it's like a really great analogy, because like, yeah, it's going to take time. And yes, our kids will be working on this and everything, but you can also accomplish so much like a single fucking week. Like I look at last week where I was compared to right now, I'm like a new person. So
Plus, we're having fun while we do it. Like, we're experiencing life. We're being connected with each other.
I can't imagine something that's actually more fun than this, because this is a genuine fun. It's like the greatest fucking thing. And then you raise kids doing this, and it's like, oh man,
Dude, that's what we're looking forward to. Like we're so looking forward to, having not just having kids, but also having a community, like creating the community around us where it's like, okay, so we've got, a ton of kids, a bunch of little genius kids that it's not the kids' fault, right? Of like who we want to hang out with or who don't want to hang out with. It's influencing the parents to actually be best for their own kids and be the kind of people that we want around our kids as well. That's creating the community. And we're really excited about that, because we're talking to a lot of parents to be, and just like sharing, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is why it makes sense. This is why you should be a part of it. And they're getting it. They're picking it up. They want to be a part of it. They're like, okay, yeah, keep. You know what I found? You know how Avery's always asking, like, do people buy or are they sold? Right? You know what I found? People like being sold.
Yeah.
People actually like it's if you just say it a different way, it's like people want to be won over. Like if you come in and you share something that's like, I wasn't thinking this way, but you win me over, like it makes sense. I'm sold. I fucking love that. I enjoy that. People really do like that. And so it's that's really what we're finding is we're sharing with people what we're doing and winning them over, and I'm saying winning them over because the way that they're thinking currently is basically like what Christine was saying, like, why would I want to bring kids into this world? Or, like, oh, you got to do things this way, or, I've got to do things this other way or that way, or whatever. And it can't be done the way that you're saying. And then like, it's like, no, but look at this and look at this and look at this and look at this. And they're like, oh, okay, no, it's possible. All right. No, that's really cool. I actually really enjoy that. I want that.
Hey, think about this. Instead of us saying, when someone's thinking like, I don't want to bring kids in this world, let's think about it like this. Why wouldn't you want to bring self-responsible, highly effective adults into this world? Wouldn't it be great if there was a lot more of those?
Yeah.
Because then you realize, oh, that's why I want to bring kids, because I can take the responsibility. We said this before, the only reason I didn't want to have kids before was because I didn't accept that I could take responsibility for supporting them to not only have a great life for themselves, but to be of service to the world and make a difference and change the things that I didn't like about it. And I can be a part of that as well, myself directly, but then also through having kids.
Yeah, it's like the coolest thing, because now that we have Aristotle here, now he's like 5 months old, to see him change every day and to see this environment that we're raising him in. And like every day, Jessica's with him. And it's like, it's so fun because I go work, I build a business, I'm out creating, and Jessica's able to be home with him. And like, I'll come home and they'll be like on the floor on this mat, and Jess is like teaching him how to crawl and like doing these exercises for him to crawl. And now you see him where at first it was like he was kind of, it was like he'd flip over and he didn't really like being upside down. Now he's like, loves being upside down. He'll look at you with the biggest smile on his face. You can like see his muscles growing and everything, where he's like, he enjoys that. And now he's getting the hang of crawling. But then also, like if I'm out, I'll get, different books and different things so that Jessica can read stuff to Aristotle. And they've read like 16 or 17 books so far. Like Jessica, when I first met her, hated to read, had dyslexia, and was just like, I know I need to read, but like I can only do audiobooks. To now the point they're reading like future proof and like psycho-cybernetics and stuff. And she's like reading this to him. And I'm witnessing this. And this is like the coolest thing ever, because it's the whole idea of like programming. So we're literally programming Aristotle to be, I'll say the word superhuman, but this is just normal. So I don't mean like he's special, but it's like he's going to be this amazing fucking human. And then he's going to be friends with your kids and all the other kids in the community. And I mean, it just is like, I know we don't, it's like, the feeling thing is like, feelings are bullshit, but also it's like, it's pretty cool to like have the feeling of like, wow, there's this momentum, there's this thing we're creating that's real. That
But
is,
I mean, you
unshakable.
but that it's not even a feeling.
Right,
There can
right.
be a
It's
feeling
more
associated with
realization.
it. There can be a feeling associated with it, but even if you don't feel it, you still can recognize it. So
Yeah,
it's a different,
and-
it's a
and
different
I-
way of looking at feeling. It's not just like this spontaneous thing that comes up that's like from the outside to manipulate you. It's like a recognition of something where you're like, oh, this is really cool. And you might feel something in that moment, or you might just see it as a recognition.
Yeah, and then coupled that with, so I'm seeing like what's happening here at home, and then I'm looking at the world and everything, and I'll just get messages now from people, or like I'll see my like payouts from TT, and it's like all these people now that I don't even know who they are now on board, and people come into the event, and I get the names of the people who buy their event tickets. I'm like, I have no idea who you are, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in San Diego and introducing you to my wife and my son and everything, because the thing is growing. It's like that flywheel thing. But I just want to bring up this other point too, is there's this myth out there of this like passive income thing where you're like, I'm gonna build a business and it's just gonna be passive. It's like, no, what you actually want is just leverage. So it's like, I'm not trying to be like, let me build Techno Tutor to a certain point and then I can sit back. It's like, no, let me just build this phase. And then we build the next phase, and you build the next phase. And at a certain point, you have the leverage. So it's like you can, where my effort can be really, really, really focused on one specific point where you like pull that, and then it makes all this other stuff keep growing.
Because that
It's like
actually
it-
creates impact. The passive
Yeah.
thing, it doesn't do anything. It's just about you. And you know what it is? The whole passive income thing. It's like when they sold everybody on pensions and stuff like that. It's just
Right.
the
Yeah.
next level of selling
Something
people
for
on just
nothing.
get enough that you can just sit back. And it's like Warren Buffett doesn't think about passive income. You know what I mean? Like he's still fucking out there every day trying to create more.
It's active.
You would think the people who have the most passive income, these billionaires, would just be like, fuck it. I mean, I have $10 billion. Even if it goes down to 100 million, I'm still fine. So why would they just not just let it go at that point? And just who cares? They don't, because they're not just trying, again, principle wise, they don't have all the points, but they are more within the point of being fulfilling their potential as a human being by creating. It's just not from the starting point completely of give as you want to receive. But it's a cool
Yeah.
point for everybody to learn of like, that's what they're doing. They're active out in the world, sharing, impacting people and so forth. Now let's just do it with principle.
What was that point that you were going to make with the unschooling justifying poverty?
No, just because like, if you just let things be natural, meaning
Oh,
you're not programming it.
I
It's
see
like,
it,
well,
yeah.
everything is natural. Like then it's just all like your child's interest in mathematics. If that's natural or not, how is that any different than, well, this kid in Africa is just starving. It's just the way things are. Oh no, that's artificial. It's like, so is whether your child likes mathematics or not. Right. So it's just they don't realize that if you just take that logic and extend it out, you're literally just saying, let everything just be as it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like my child should be able to just play all day, you know, and it's like these other kids are like fucking working in a diamond mine. What about them? They should be unschooled. Then they would starve to death and their parents would starve to death. So what are you going to do about that? Well, my child will just play. And it's like, and then
Yeah.
you talk to them 3 years later and their kids just like playing Call of Duty all day.
Yeah.
My
Well,
kid,
my
my kid, yeah,
preschool was
literally
fucking reading
manifested my kid
three
playing all day.
novels in a day, you know.
That's a good point.
And no one's forcing him.
Yeah.
You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, did we hit all the points? Did we do
Well,
them all?
I just want to be a slave to this podcast any longer today.
Yeah, I want to go play instead.
I want to go play. I mean, isn't this like playing? Like we're just
It's literally
This
like
is
playing.
my play. What are you
And then
talking
And any
afterwards-
other play, okay, any of the other shit that people do, it's like if you listen to enough or you've seen Technotutor, like you grasp enough of the vision, you took the fucking red pill. And some people will still fuck off for a while. They'll, oh, well, let me do this group and let me do this thing and this thing. But it's like in the back of your mind, that seed is there. And it's like you can't fucking run away from it. So even if you're out like playing and like fucking around, let's say you're going out drinking for brunch today or whatever, and you know in the back of your mind, you're like, it is not fucking best to go do brunch time or drink alcohol because the fucking escape. It's like that will haunt you and you will never experience true satisfaction until you come back and you actually take on the principles and you participate and you give as you'd like to receive.
we're in your head, motherfuckers.
You know, just the practical point behind that. It's just like you can't outrun it. It's like it's gonna
Can't
come.
outwit the devil.
You can't outwit the devil.
It's
Can't outwit me,
you are the
bitch.
fucking devil.
Oh, it's you.
The devil
it's you.
is
You're
smarter
the
than
devil.
you.
Yeah.
Ego. You can't outwit it. You
Yeah.
gotta fucking have principles and breathe and do what's best. That's the only way. You can't outwit it. I am smarter than the devil. No, you're fucking not, dude. Like he's been around way longer than you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna outwit him by reading Napoleon Hill.
And you can't even
Thinking
read.
about becoming rich. That's what the book should have been called. Just think about getting rich.
Think about getting rich.
Or what was it called?
And,
Think about growing.
Yeah. think about getting rich and then think about it some more and then just don't get rich. But the point that I was going to say is like you can't outrun it because it's like you're watching everything collapse. You're watching it happen. It's going to continue happening. There's not going to be any point where you're like, oh, I've escaped, because you're going to see it. If you can hear what I'm saying right now, like it's just going to be that plain to you at every moment. You're going to be like, even if you want to walk away from this, you want to do your own thing. At every moment, you're just going to see this. You're just going to see everything's falling apart. I know what the solution is, and I need to be a part of the solution, or you're going to feel miserable.
Or you're
You're
gonna
gonna feel
die
miserable.
at some point, and then you're gonna come back as a child, and you're gonna be so glad that we got them Technotutor, your parents. And then you got to start all over again, which is fine. You can do it that way if you really want to. Just want to suffer
You're
your
not
whole
coming
life
back.
and then do it again. But you have to do Technotutor either way.
It's not.
Whether you do it
you're
now
not
or next
coming
life,
back.
you might.
You're not
we
coming
don't
back.
know. We might give you another chance.
No, there's no more chances.
Hold on,
There's
I got
no
some.
more
I got some
chances.
more approvals to. I got some more requests to approve. Okay. All right, you can come back. You can come back. No, not you. Not you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think we can wrap it. It is good.
Also one last update, everyone. So if people weren't on the Friday hangout, so we've negotiated with the hotel, and we got one more block of rooms with
Oh.
accompanying tickets for it. And once they're gone,
Woo!
they're gone. So you got to tick tock, hurry the fuck up. But get to San Diego. I don't care how
By the
you got to
grace
get
of God,
there.
it has been extended.
Exactly.
The gods have.
So-
the hotel gods have smiled upon us.
Yeah, exactly. You just had to finesse them a little bit. And shout out Kim. Kim's a savage. I'm so glad Kim's on Team Life because I wouldn't want to go up against her. No, I'm like half playing. But yeah. So for those of you who are like, okay, this is fucking cool. I want to be part of this.
Oh, I couldn't
gotta
go
get around
because I
as a
didn't make the
person.
deadline. Oopsie. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now you have another chance.
Yeah. Oh,
Just like you
it's
got another
hard to
chance.
make.
I approved. You can come
Yeah.
back next life. Okay. Your next life is
Yeah.
now. Now
Yeah.
get it done.
I'm vetoing
Yeah.
some of those approvals. Cam, they can't come back. That one, no. So,
Yeah.
but you do have a chance for this one. For this life, you do have a chance. This is your second chance. Come to the event. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, man.
Self-perfected.com. There's a button. Click buy your adult ticket. You can pay for the hotel after you check out. So just get your fucking ticket and get your airfare and get there.
Let's go.
And come a
Yeah.
couple days early so we can hang out in person as well. Like without the proper event, you can like come hang out, relax for a bit before the event.
Yeah,
So-
I've got some people who are doing that here. They're gonna come to the event. They're bringing their partners, their spouse.
Dude, a bunch of people from your Florida crew. Someone must be something in the water.
It's gators. Gators are in the water. We
I'm
gotta
just kidding.
we gotta
Pretty
take
much
off
the
for the
whole
summer.
Florida crew is coming.
Yeah.
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 I got a message from a couple of the other ones too. They're like, hey, there's more tickets. Okay. Can I buy it on Wednesday or whatever? I'm like, sure. I'll set aside
That's
one
good.
for you.
That's good.
So.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. Well,
All right.
get out there. Go
Have a nice
share
one.
this.
Bye.